What's happening, guys? Coming at you from Down for Sound. In this video, we're going to be going over some frequently asked questions. We're going to call this the rapid fire question segment, if you will. We get tons of questions, so we're just going to start answering a bunch of them in one video. So in this video, we're going to do that. But first, my name is Johnathan Price, owner and operator of downforsoundshop.com and this YouTube channel, which is two of the fastest growing things in car audio. If you will, hit that subscribe button and enable notifications so you know every time we drop a video, and you'll get it sent to your inbox and you'll be able to check it out first. All right, so let's get into this. We have a few questions here, I think about 5. I'm gonna read them off and the person's name. Again, if you have questions pertaining to car audio, you may want to go check out a bunch of our prior videos. They probably are already answered there, but if not, we'll try to answer them here. And we have a question from Skywalker All Day. How to turn a 4 ohm into a 2 ohm and how to turn a 2 ohm into a 1 ohm. Thanks. So in this video, we're not going to go through that in great detail because I've already made a video on that. So what I'm going to do is reference the videos that I made pertaining to that in the past. So you can go to the description and click on the video. You can see exactly how to do it, because if I try to explain it, I've tried to do this over the phone several times where I try to explain to them, you do the positive from one side, negative to the other side, you take the negative from that side and go to the amplifier on like this terminal, and they're like, at the end of it, they're like, what? So it turns into a big waste of time. So the best thing for me to do is reference the prior video, and you can go and watch that and see exactly how to do it. Draw it out. You can pause it at any time, and it's just the best way. So be sure to check out the links in the description. I do it on a single subwoofer, and also I do it on a dual subwoofer setup. So that's going to answer Skywalker's question. Next one, John Anderson. He says, what is a bass blocker? What's the purpose and when do I need one? Just the mid, just the tweet, both? Where do I get it? So a bass blocker is a small capacitor, basically. It's filtering out, like people call them bass blockers, because it's blocking the bass out from something that doesn't need to be receiving it. Usually you use them on tweeters. So if you like go to say the Down for Sound D25 Neo tweeter, you'll see a selection or an option on there. Would you like to add a bass blocker to make these sound as amazing as possible? And you can select yes or no. But the reason for that, people blow tweeters all the time because tweeters are very delicate. Usually they don't handle a ton of power or abuse like subwoofers do because they're so small and so delicate. So it only takes a very small amount of clipping, especially if you're running a little bit over the RMS power. You can blow a tweeter in like a second. Like, it doesn't take long at all. So I recommend getting crossovers or a bass blocker to go on there, because it's going to help protect the tweeter from blowing so fast. You can still blow it, but it gives it a layer of protection from blowing it so fast, because it's filtering out the bass frequencies from going to your tweeter. So that's what it is. You can get them on downforsoundshop.com. They're not expensive at all. I think they're like $9 or something, and you can, the more you buy, the more you can save. So be sure to check those out on the website. We'll have links to those in the description below as well. Junkyard Hemi, JP, I'll be mounting a pair of 10s in my Corvette this spring. Due to space limitations, I'll be mounting them inverted. When doing this, do you reverse polarity of the speaker wires because the subs are backwards? The answer is no. In short, no, you don't change anything because they're both still going to be facing the same way. The only way that you would be reversing it is if you had one inverted and one standard mounted. So that's your answer. No, you're not going to change anything to come with that. Next is from Jesus Sandoval. Can I charge my AGM batteries while the amplifiers are connected? Yes, you can. It's not a problem to charge your batteries with your amplifiers connected. I do it all the time. Most people do that because if you had to disconnect your amplifiers every time you charge your batteries, it'd be a huge pain in the butt. So yes, you can charge them. You just want to make sure you don't have your car turned on or your amplifiers on. Like, have all that turned off, but you don't have to disconnect it. 5Gs outdoors. One question I've had is, what's the difference in the orders for boxes? Like, what is the difference between, say, 4th order, 6th order, and what does order mean? The easiest thing to do on this, I mean, I can give you a very brief description of this, like different boxes, but There's tons of videos out there explaining what these are in great detail. I'm gonna give you the short and skinny of it. So you have a sealed enclosure, which is gonna be just that. It's gonna be a enclosure with no porting, no holes or anything like that. It's gonna be your sealed enclosure. The next thing you're gonna have is a ported enclosure, which is gonna have, some people call them a slot port, or also people use arrow ports, different things, but and octo ports, but you have a port in it, so it's a specifically tuned opening on the box to make that box peak at a certain frequency. Next thing you're going to have is a fourth order, which is like the one that I had in my Tahoe prior, when you saw the white box with the inverted subs back there. So the subs were mounted in a calculated sealed enclosure. This was a fourth order enclosure. It's called and you have different ratios as well. So mine was a 3-to-1 fourth order. So you have a sealed section in the back, and that's where your subwoofers are mounted in. So that's sealed. But if you saw that huge, it looked like a hot tub, that huge space where the subwoofer magnets were, and then that big opening behind my front seat, that was a port right there. So usually your sealed side is going to play your lower frequencies, and then that big port in the front is going to play your higher frequencies. A perfectly done up fourth order is going to play a pretty wide range from lows to highs on bass. For that reason, you have kind of two different, you have a sealed box playing inside of a ported box, so you kind of have the best of both worlds. A sixth order, moving into that, it's going to be two ported enclosures, one ported enclosure inside of another ported enclosure. So say I only had 4 18-inch subwoofers in my Tahoe, and over to one side I had ports over there instead of subwoofers. So if you look through the port, I'm trying to think of how I can like paint the picture for you. So say you're looking through the port of my last build on my Tahoe. If you're looking through there, you see a sub here, a sub here, sub here, and a sub here, and usually 2 more subs right here. But if you took these subs out and you put ports over there, then you would have a ported enclosure back there. Obviously it would need to be calculated, but I'm just painting you a picture. So you'd have that ported enclosure back there, and then up front where the port is behind my seat, you'd have that port as well. So you'd have a ported enclosure in the back inside of a bigger ported enclosure in the front. So you'd have 2 ported enclosures, and if you do a 6th order right, it's going to play a wide range. But from what I've seen, the lows on like being able to play low bass on these enclosures are when they're done right. And the other thing really quick, when you're doing 4th orders and 6th orders, it takes a ton of testing and tuning. Very rarely can you just design something on paper and throw it in and it work like you thought it would. Like you're constantly expanding the port or shrinking the port, like doing all these different testings, because to get it where it's performing in its what is called sweet spot, where it's performing as best as possible, takes a ton of testing and tuning. So before you jump into something like that, if you're new to bass, at least get with somebody that's done a ton of them before. Like, so that's going to help a ton. They can help you definitely a lot on that, because it's not something that you can just like, oh, I'm going to do a 6th order and do it like off of a whim. It's not going to turn out well 99% of the time. Again, if you want to get more details on each, like what each order is and each enclosure is, you can search that on YouTube. There's been tons of videos done on that, but that's going to be the short and sweet of 4th and 6th orders, or ported boxes, sealed boxes, or whatever. So that's going to be it. Appreciate you joining me in another video. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them below, and we'll see you in another one. Later. Yo, what's up guys? If you want to see more of the hot content that you just saw in that video, be sure to follow me on all my social media channels, from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The Life of Price is my handle on there. Also have Down for Sound Shop on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget Snapchat is JPD4S. Check out all the hot content on there as well.